It's okay if you're just talking freely, you know. It's kind of difficult when you're just standing there. Okay, John, that's enough.
So, why don't you ask Uncle Donald about your father?
How about my mother, Uncle Donald?
I don't know anything about your mother.
Your older sister
I used to give
that
her
used
help.
to take care of you when you were a
help.
baby, right? Oh.
So let's hear something, Uncle Donald.
We'll get Uncle Carl when he comes too, because he was in Bridgeport at the time when they were all there. Mary, maybe your first impressions of my father. This is for David. We'll try and do this.
Oh, I was terrified of meeting him, and only met him very briefly.
Why was that?
I just heard this, that he was very stern, and he was mad at Monique for wanting to stay for my wedding. And she was in big trouble, and we were trying to think of some way to pacify him so that she didn't, you know, get grounded for another 6 months or something. And then over the years we corresponded a little bit, quite a bit. And I felt I got to know the man. It was wonderful. His letters were great. I remember one letter that was addressed, which has always stayed with me and I thought was very perceptive. It said, to Donald, who was never young, and to Mary, who will never grow old. Because that was the time when Donald was a real worrier.
I remember.
And he was worried. He was always
I gotta
evidently,
move to Honda.
Okay.
even as a young man, he was a worrier.
Uncle Donald was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
For a
that.
long time, kind of, but he's not anymore.
No, he really is relaxed and is enjoying life. Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
a lot
good.
of that is business, the heart attack.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is good, because a lot of people go through that and they don't change their lifestyle at all.
Sure, and then it's too late, and they're on their deathbed saying, "I wish I had done this" or "I wish I had done that."
So Donald's taking time to smell the days.
Yeah, that's great. Sure is. It makes a difference. Let me just get all four brothers here. Uncle Johnny, Uncle Donald.
I'm glad you're pointing us out, because people are not going to know who we are.
That's right. Okay,
That's right.
Bridgeport or Scranton, whichever memories you might have. The first time you met my father, or memorable occasion.
By saying that you really knew a lot about Charlie that I didn't.
Well, I remember when he used to call it a house. It was courting Ray, and he would spend more time with us, the kids. And we had the first version of Jeopardy. I mean, he used to ask us questions, and we'd answer them if we could. If not, he would explain what it was. And it was really great. And he always did it. We used to look forward to him coming, you know. Especially me, because I was always the smartest.
So you'd outshine everybody else, right?
Did he compliment you when you he had a way of sort of making people feel as though they knew a lot more than they did. Did you ever go on hikes with him?
No.
What was
I
the name
never
of the
went any
game,
hike.
Carl?
Well, it was just.
What was the name of the game?
It wasn't a game at all. It was just
No, it was a...
conjecture, wasn't it?
Huh?
It was the original Jeopardy game. I don't know. What?
There was a name to the game.
I don't know.
My father gave a name to the game? What was it?
I remember there was a name to the game. It was not only spinning the wheel.
Oh, there was no spinning any wheel.
It was a spinning the wheel,
Yeah,
but then you had to guess. It was spinning the wheel, then you went to a category, you know, just like Jeopardy, right? Instead of choosing the thing, the wheel spun around and went to a certain thing, whether it was geography or history or whatever it was.
I just remember it
You don't
being.
remember that?
I just remember it being. You know, he would ask questions on anything.
But you don't remember the big wheel? Big
No,
thing that went on the table? Sure. And on the table.
No, we used to play it up.
Maybe that was later, maybe he made the wheel, do you think?
We used to play it up.
Because you're younger than...
I remember when I took Charlie back to Connecticut, and I don't know what year it was, but then
42.
43, maybe 43, 44. And I took him back, and then I was leaving, and he was crying, and I couldn't go. He was crying, but so I had to stay another day. I stayed another day, and then he got used to, he'd play with you.
Oh, my brother Charlie.
Yeah.
Little Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because he lived in Scranton for a couple of years, didn't he? Yeah.
How long did you live
Well, he was there for a couple of years. He used to always be with me. He'd come down, I'd take him down the gas, I worked down the gas station. He'd
Really?
take him down the gas
Yeah.
station.
I gotta get a collection.
I'll never forget, I met a girl one time, and she came down the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
She came down the gas station. I told her I worked in the gas station. She came down to see me. And I had Charlie with me.
Uh-huh.
So much. You're married, you're married. I said, no, I'm not married. It's my
His nephew. Hi.
You almost lost out.
Yeah. How about when you were in Bridgeport? You were talking about a little bit about your experiences in Bridgeport together.
Frank, remember the guy's name? Eisler.
Oh,
Gerhard Eisler.
Yeah, Gerhard
The
Eisler.
guy's brother was the head of the East Germany.
Well, when I was in Bridgeport, I lived on Main Street in Vance's apartment,
Mm-hmm.
and the only thing I didn't see him too much. I didn't see him with our father too much because I worked the second shift, and during the day I used to go to Westport, Connecticut to pick apples.
Oh.
I used to pick apples in Westport, Connecticut. And I worked the second shift
That's where Bob's from.
at Pepperidge Farm.
Oh, yes.
And
I didn't know that.
we used to pick them, and I'll never forget the time there was a nice small tree, and picking these beautiful yellow apples. And I picked the whole tree.
Uh-huh.
And the foreman came over. He said, "Who picked these?" And I proudly said, "Me." He said, "You dummy." He said, "These aren't picked until later on in the year." He said, "And we don't sell these by the bushel. We sell them by the apple."
Oh, my goodness.
But, you don't want to hear about that Eisler,
You're right.
Eisler case. No,
Uncle Frank was saying a little bit about it. Yeah.
but, he was always reading, Charlie, right? Reading his poetry, and reading, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
What he talked about.
The whole thing is, all these years, you've never met anyone like him.
Oh, yeah.
More about it. That's the whole.
Never,
That says it in a nutshell.
It's really something else.
You know, you say what you want.
Yeah.
Some people have certain things, they get it all.
A lot of people
What are they doing, laughing about me?
probably
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. Wow, that's
But,
great.
it was, really, they were really enjoyable times. They were really
Yeah. That's
There
great.
wasn't much money. There was never much money.
That's true, right.
We used to smoke too much.
Yeah, it's just smoke.
Well, yeah, but he quit about Chesterfield, I think, or something. He quit about 15, oh, maybe even longer, 20 years before he died. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he quit smoking way before.
But he used to smoke
Because he had real problems with
Break
his...
in half, he was short.
Yeah, I remember him doing that. Mm-hmm. And then he quit because he was really having a lot of problems with breathing and his hay fever and so on. And then he was really against smoking, you know. He knew that it was going to cause lots of problems for people. So he would go on this campaign trying to talk people out of smoking without being obnoxious about it, which was good, you know, and he helped some people to quit smoking.
When Gene Scatia stopped, people were campaigning,
Yeah.
When he stopped.
Oh,
There's nothing like it.
yeah. How about Uncle Gene? Some different memories with Uncle Gene?
I think people know him better than I didn't
Oh,
really.
Gene had to be the funniest guy I've ever known.
Mm-hmm.
I never met anyone as funny as Gene.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, you tell him a joke, a week later he would tell you the same joke and you'd roll on the floor laughing. That's how good he was. And he could, he was just good. He could come up with the sayings.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hard worker in the sense that I remember once the time he was driving a big old truck, coal or something,
Probably,
on
yeah.
the full thing.
Yeah.
Nice. And he worked, he got, maybe $8 or $10 per shift.
Yeah.
And he would be gone 12, 14, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's all. He
Driving
used to
that big
drive
truck.
He used to drive that trailer all week. They used to
beer
drive down to
truck.
Baltimore, down to brewery.
Right,
And that guy paid off in the dark, that beer distributor.
He was always cheerful
then,
about it.
Then on his day off, he'd take the older women from down his old neighborhood on Luzerne Street, and he would take them to New York and give them a tour in New York.
That's right. We love to do that. Yeah, he'd take anybody to New York. Yeah.
I go to New York. He took everybody everywhere.
Yeah.
And it was like, there wasn't a place that he didn't know. No matter where he went, I don't know whether he was lost or not, but he always got there. No, you go this way, you go that way.
He started the first reunions. Remember when we came here for the tall ships at July 4th? We had the tall ships and we had the big family reunion here. And half of them went off to New York City to see the tall ships, and some stayed here for the fireworks. You stayed here, we stayed here too. But some of the others ended up on the bridge and jumping.
And where were they?
Jumping over the
Down
cars.
some building down there.
Yeah. Oh, the bookstore, Chris's bookstore or something.
There were, I don't know, the only problem is they died too soon.
And we probably...
Actually, there was no recording of what, no records of what they said or what they did, their diaries or anything.
Yeah. Now, I have a lot of videos of Uncle Gene, and when people are ready to see them, I have lots of the Bochy here in New York and lots in Scranton with Uncle Gene talking and, all his jokes and everything, but people haven't been ready to see them yet. Because it is difficult, because it kind of makes you a little depressed to think that they died that young. And